It was a great game. You go around, shoot ink all over the place, and whoever covers the most ground wins. Or if you're a noob, just stand there and hope your teammates win. Come on, dude, we're gonna lose because of you. The franchise has so many games. Splatoon 1, Splatoon 2. Wait a second. So yeah, you could say this is one of Nintendo's newer IPs. And it seems that since Nintendo only wants to do one of these per console, we probably won't get a new one for a while. Unless we got one on the 3DS, but that thing's kinda sorta dead. So today, I'm gonna speculate about what's in store for Splatoon 3. Specifically, weapons. So let's get started. Here are 6 ideas for weapons in Splatoon 3. First up, we got the grenade launcher. No, not that kind of explosion. Obviously, it'll leave an ink explosion, and not a normal one. So, how will grenades be different from bombs, which are also in the game? After all, they're both exploding things that blow up. Well, let me explain. When you launch a grenade out of this thing, it'll go straight in whatever direction you launched it. It will leave behind a trail of ink wherever it goes, and if it runs into a wall, it will bounce right off the wall, like the guy in the math problems after eating those 15 candy bars. After 3 seconds, the grenades will explode, leaving a fairly large amount of ink in the area. Sure, it may seem a little random and hard to get exactly where you want, but the thing is, it's pretty spammable. After you shoot one, you can shoot up to 3 more before the first one blows up. Plus, I can tell this will get on people's nerves. When that bomb comes flying out of nowhere and splats them, their controller's gonna go flying at the TV. This next one is basically Indiana Jones and SpongeBob combined, the Sponge Whip. This may sound strange, but Splatoon is all about using painting materials as weapons, and so I thought it would fit in with the other weapons. Basically, the Sponge Whip is a whip that's made out of sponge material, except for the grip. When you use it to whip the ground, you leave behind ink wherever you go. It'll be pretty good at splatting. It even has a special move. If you hold down ZL long enough, you can charge up this attack where you slash your whip forward 3 times, the last one being the most powerful. It may seem like a weird weapon, but honestly, it is just a way of life for me. Next up is the Splat sprayer. This one is in the shape of a can of spray paint. When you use it, the inkling will press down on the top and ink will spray out. Sadly, you can't use the vandalize old grumpy man's house, but it is at least about as good at splatting as a roller. I don't really have anything else to say about this one, because it's pretty straightforward, so I guess I'll just move on to the next one. This next one is basically if the inklings wanted to go all ninja. This one's called the throw ink star. It mostly looks like a normal throwing star, but the blades on the edges are paintbrushes. You can slash these things around and they spew ink out wherever you do. Now, you're probably going to say, but Eli guy, why can't you throw them? They're called throwing stars. Well, first of all, I'm sorry, you probably don't sound like that. And second, hold on, because I'm getting to that. If you hold down ZL, you can do just that. Throw the throwing star. The edges will have ink flying out of them. This move would be perfect for sneaking up on opponents and sniping them out of nowhere. Now that's epic. Next up is a weapon that's kind of like the Splat dualies, because there are 2 of them. 2's better than 1. Anyway, this one is basically like holding 2 smaller, shorter paintbrushes in your hands, but they're both double-ended. You slash them around, and surprise, surprise, they spew ink everywhere. They may not cover the most ground, but they're pretty good at splatting. This is another straightforward one, but don't worry, the next one I think would be the coolest to have in the game, and I think it's the best idea I've come up with so far. Splatoon isn't a very violent series. Sure, you can splat people, but the game is all about covering turf, not killing. Now, why am I saying this? Because it has to do with this weapon. This weapon is... drumroll, please. Still no drumroll? Of course. Anyway, this weapon is the Super Sword. Seriously, swords in Splatoon. This weapon is the mother of all weapons. It's one you can only unlock once you get to level 85, and even then, it costs an absolute fortune. Don't worry, it has good reason to be this hard to get. Its basic function is slicing around and ink spews out wherever it does. About as good as a high-level brush. But don't worry, I am not done. This thing can splat anyone in one hit. It can even home in on anyone on the opposing team that's on your screen. As long as they're in view, you can automatically go up to them and splat them. Another cool thing that you can do is if you hold down ZL, you can do a spin with the sword. So basically they stole Link's Smash Bros. Recovery, but Link's doesn't spew insane amount of inks everywhere. And the last one is the most earth-shattering one. You can swim and leave behind a trail of ink. Yes, you heard me correctly. You can now safely swim on enemy territory and be fine. The trail is about as big as what a carbon roller deco can do. So it's a real good ability. So yeah, the Super Sword is only for gods at the game. In other words, it's only for people whose names are in Japanese and have levels higher than the amount of friends I have. That's a joke. So these are all the ideas I had. Not that we're gonna get a new Splatoon anytime soon, since 2 is selling faster than the PE teacher's grandma. Also, remember that this isn't me predicting at all. I'm just giving some ideas for what I think the next game could have in store. Oh yeah, and there's that one thing that most YouTubers say at the end of their videos that had to do with that one red button that says subscribe at the bottom, and then that one thing that looks like a hand. It doesn't matter. Like and subscribe anyways.